Hi, I'm Lois.
And I'm Stacey.
And this is Whose Girl Are You? Every guest who comes on our show gets asked 20 questions. These episodes are incredible.
Yeah.
And it's great fun. Stick around. Stacey.
Yes.
I have 20 childhood questions for you.
Let's do it.
How far back in your brain can you go?
No. Not far, but we'll try.
From what age is your earliest memory?
I think about 3 years old.
Ooh.
3 or 4.
Would you like to share it with us?
Yeah, I peed the bed at my cousin's house.
Oh, boy.
And we were out of town. She lived downstate at the time. And I, in my infinite wisdom, took my clothes off and changed. And I remember pulling the blankets up and putting something else over the top of it, trying to just like cover it up. Maybe nobody would notice. And I think I hid my pee clothes under the bed. I remember that being just like terrified because I was like in someone else's house and it was like the first night we had stayed there and I don't know.
Oof. That's seared in the brain, right?
Mm-hmm. Start off with trauma.
Okay. Question number 2. When you were a child, were you a girly girl or a tomboy?
I think if anyone's listened at all, they probably know that I was a tomboy.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
100% tomboy. Okay. How far do you live from your childhood hometown?
Pretty far. I just got back yesterday and driving, it takes about 21 hours to drive it. I don't know the mileage. It's like 1,500 miles or something maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Nice. Were there any other languages spoken in your childhood home?
Not in my mom would swear in Finnish and
I feel like that was a thing where we grew up.
Yeah. And my grandparents spoke Finn, but they spoke mostly English. Mm-hmm. My great grandparents were very Finn. I was able to know them as well.
Right. How old were you when you learned how to ride a bike?
I must have been young because I kind of do remember learning how to ride a bike because we lived on a hill. Like there was nowhere to ride your bike. So we would bring my bike up to my grandma's house and I learned how to ride on the street right in front of, like, I just walked that so many times when I was just up there. They still all live in the same area and it was a nice flat area. So I remember learning how to ride a bike there. I also remember, hitting when you put the pedals backwards, it would stop.
Yeah.
Hit the pedals backwards. Like I remember like loving to go down and then hit them like when you hit gravel and spin the back wheel out, which was fun.
Yeah.
Till you hit the pavement and got road rash on your knees because you hit it a little too hard, right?
Yeah. Ouch.
So, yeah. My knees are
also traumatized.
A little damaged.
Yeah. Oh boy. Did you have to do chores when you were a kid?
Yep. Every Saturday.
Yeah.
Every day, but more on Saturday.
Do you remember your chores?
Yeah, like for one, I did all the outside stuff, because I was the tomboy, right? So I did the snow removal, the mowing, the weed whacking, the weeding, all of that stuff. But there was only a limited amount of that. I tried to be out there doing that all the time, let my sister do the housework, but there was more housework than there was yard work. We didn't really have a manicured yard.
Yeah.
So I remember we had to do dishes sometimes they'd have us do dishes where like one washed, the other rinsed and dried. We didn't have a dishwasher. And my parents, I remember someone saying, you should get a dishwasher. And my dad would say, I have 2, Angie and Stacey.
Yes, exactly.
So why would I need one of those contraptions? So never had a dishwasher besides my sister and I. So we had to do that. And then we also, pretty young age, started making simple dinners and stuff too. That was a chore in my opinion. So we had to do chores. From when we got home from school, parents were at work, got home from school, had to do chores and homework and whatever, and sometimes make dinner before mom and dad got home because we'd have about 2 hours, 2.5 hours before mom and dad came home. So yeah, it started young, and then Saturdays it was up at the crack of dawn and a lot more chores. Like that's when you deep clean the tub, mopped the floors, and it had to be on hands and knees because otherwise how could you get the corners, clean out the fridge, windows, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Did you get an allowance?
No. I remember I had some friends that had allowances, and I'd say, well, why can't I have an allowance? And they said, we pay you so much. You get to live here, eat here, we buy your clothes.
Yeah. We feed you, we clothe you.
We're not paying you. You're part of this. And I've never given my kids allowance either. I've always just said, we're all part of this family. We all pitch in.
Yeah, exactly. So then do you give your kids money for if they want to buy something, or do you buy it for them, or do you make them work for it and earn it? This is not on our list, but I'm just curious.
So the first one wanted a lot, and so she went and got a job really early so that she could pay for whatever she wanted. And they get stuff for Christmas and birthdays. That's it. And they usually try to milk that money out, and they just don't ask for stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. What was your most memorable family vacation?
Probably Arizona. Probably driving to Arizona and being in Arizona, because it was so different than the Upper Peninsula, right? Roller skating around cactuses. I did fall into that cactus roller skating, though, and had to have a bunch of those things pulled out of my rear end. That wasn't fun.
Boy.
But good memories of going there. We'd stay with my aunt and uncle, and I had cousins, and we went a few times.
Who had left the UP?
Yeah. Yeah. There, not many get out alive, but some of us do.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy. Describe your childhood bedroom, and then what was the view out of your window?
My bedroom mostly was shared with my sister most of our life. In high school, they moved her down to a different room downstairs, and I had my own room, but it was a smallish room. We had bunk beds. I was always on the top. There was a window there was two windows, but the one that I always looked out of overlooked the canal and the bridge, the Portage Lift Bridge. So I would many a night sit and watch the snowmobiles on the ice, zipping up and down. I remember the smell of that too. There was it smelled like wood. There was natural wood casings on the windows, and it was an old house too. So it had this old wood musty. It's so hard to describe, but I like it.
Yeah. Was there a wood stove?
No, there was not.
Okay. Just curious, because that adds a smell too.
My dad had really bad allergies and asthma and stuff, so we never had a wood stove.
Yeah.
I think they did when they first moved in and they were broke or whatever, but they changed it out as soon as possible. But I don't know. Yeah.
Who was your childhood best friend?
So when I was a kid, when I was little, my best friend's name was Jill, and our birthdays were one day apart. Hers was the day after mine. So we even had shared birthday parties and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm Facebook friends with her now, but we don't keep in touch. We lost touch. I think we kept in touch maybe up until 10 years after graduation.
Yeah.
2004 or something like that. And then she went her way and I went my way, and no reason but life,
Yeah. Did you have a beloved childhood pet?
I did. I had a dog named Lady. She was a beagle mutt type of dog, and she had puppies too. She got knocked up by the neighborhood dog. I think it was a black lab, so she had these adorable black lab beagle puppies.
Oh, cute.
Which I had so much fun with for the 6 weeks we were allowed to have them. Then we brought them to the mall, and my dad made me put a free sign on them, and we gave the puppies away at the mall, and they were gone within an hour.
Yeah. Oh, that's hard, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't even let me keep one.
Oh, you still had Lady though.
I know, that's what they said.
Didn't help then, doesn't help now.
It's funny, I was a dog person then, but I'm not. I don't hate animals, but I don't want an animal.
Yeah. Next question. What was your favorite childhood game?
Probably, honestly, tag and 7 Steps from the House and Kick the Can, those kind of games. Especially when we would play flashlight tag. So we'd turn all the lights in the house off, and we had some friends that had some houses that were 4 stories high with servant staircases and everything, the old mine owners' houses and stuff like that.
Right.
And holy moly, was that like scary and fun. Because
Yeah.
Kick the Can also was more fun when it was dusk, dusk or getting early night.
Yeah.
Where it was a little bit of more of a sneak attack type of deal.
Yeah.
So anything that was like that, Chinese freeze tag, I don't know why it was called Chinese. It had nothing to do with Chinese, but
We're not racist here.
I know you'd get tagged and you would spread your legs and you had to stand there frozen. And then someone else had to come and like crawl under your legs to unfreeze you. And once you were tagged 3 times, then you were it.
Yeah.
Like all kinds of games like that, like loved those. Still love those. Still play them when I see kids playing. I've taught many kids how to play these games.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool. It's cool that you still enjoy them. That's awesome. Okay, did you have a childhood hobby?
Swimming? Is that a hobby?
Sure.
That's a sport.
Okay.
When I was probably 10 or whatever, I loved cross stitching.
Oh, cool. That's definitely a hobby.
Yeah. Which is so funny now because I just think back to those cross stitch days where everyone was cross stitching and then you'd frame them and
yeah.
I can't imagine having a cross stitch. I should hanging on my wall or whatever. And it's like a little like girl in a bonnet holding a puppy or something.
Yes. Yes. Oh, funny.
Yeah.
That's great. Did you collect anything?
Not really. I was the typical, I collected rocks and sticks and things like that because they were cool or smooth or a funny shape or whatever, but not any serious collection because then I'd clean my room and be like, and throw them away. But I'd always, bring back more.
Yeah, exactly.
Feathers, just whatever weird thing I found outside when I was playing.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I actually did, for a while, I did collect like basketball cards and hockey cards. Not the typical baseball card gal.
Right.
But I still have a small collection of those, like, I don't know. I have a lot of like Shaquille O'Neal and Larry Bird and stuff like that. That was the era that I was collecting in. So I have a little box I made in Metal Shop.
Right.
And like, I was like, whatever fits in there, that's what I'll keep. Which, funny thing, I was just up in Michigan and I was walking with my cousin and she said, that's Mr. Mishicott. I said, the old Metal Shop teacher? And she's like, yeah. So we stopped and talked to him for a minute and it was pretty cool. And then when we left, I said, how is it that he looks the exact same, like he hasn't aged? And she's like, because he runs like 10 miles a day and is super healthy. And I was just like, wow, that's a motivation to get my butt going.
Right.
So
that's awesome. What was your favorite playground equipment or recess game?
Recess game, I love Double Dutch. Played a lot of Double Dutch. Was so good at it. We had all the different songs that went with it. I don't remember half of them anymore.
Yes.
And also, I don't know if we called it patty cake or not, but, like Miss Mary Black, Black, Black.
Yeah.
Or Miss Mary Mac, 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 all dressed in black, black, black with buttons all down her back, back, back.
Yeah.
Like we did a lot of that.
Yeah.
On the playground.
Rhymey, sort of. Yep.
And so jump roping and that and sledding. We did sledding on the playground. Cause that's where I'm from.
Yep.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yes. Were you in any sports as a child?
Yeah. I was in track and cross country and I decided I hated cross country. I don't like long distance anything. I'm a sprinter.
Yeah. There you go.
Even in swimming, running, anything, I'm good. I can run super fast or swim super fast for super short distances.
Yeah.
That's what I loved to do. So I swam competitively from 7 to 17, private club first and then, up to the high school. Undefeated my senior year.
Nice.
Big fish, small pond, that whole thing.
That's awesome. Were you forced to learn a musical instrument?
No, I wasn't even encouraged. I wasn't even given the opportunity. I learned the recorder. Was it 3rd grade? Something like that. That's about it.
Yeah.
We never had any instruments in our house, nor did any of my aunts or uncles or anybody that I knew. A rare, friend, had, a piano.
Yeah.
But I wasn't raised around music like that. I was raised around, rock and roll on the radio kind of music.
Right.
Yeah.
Did your family attend church?
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas and Easter for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Other times, spotty.
Mm-hmm.
I did go to Sunday school.
Next question. Did you go to Sunday school?
Yeah. Most of the time they would, in my remembrance, Sunday school was before church, so they drop us off at Sunday school and they would go out to eat.
Mm.
And then sometimes they'd just come back and pick us up and we'd go home, and sometimes we'd stay in through church.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not like, I didn't feel like it was a big part of my life.
Right.
It was just a part of my life.
Right. Last question. What was your favorite Bible story as a child?
I don't know that I had a favorite Bible story as a child. Honestly. I didn't have one. No. I don't remember even knowing very much. I don't know. I heard David and Goliath and Jonah and the whale, and there was, I remember kind of hearing about some of that, but I don't feel like I understood much of any of it, and I didn't have anything that was my favorite. It wasn't read to us at home or talked about at home or anything like that. It was just the little bits I got at VBS and Sunday school and stuff.
Right.
So.
Well, thank you for answering our 20 questions. That was childhood questions. Dragging back the old archives, man.
Sheesh. That was a minute ago.
Della, we have 20 questions for you.
Yeah.
And I get the privilege of asking them, so this is going to be fun.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Which one is this? Is this childhood?
Yeah. We're going to ask you questions about childhood.
About your childhood.
About your childhood.
Okay.
So, are you ready, Della, for 20 childhood questions?
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right. From what age is your earliest memory?
I would say 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you like to share it with us?
I have memories from when we lived in Washington. Several memories of where we lived and the animals and being up on Silver Star and stuff. And we moved when I was 3.
Wow.
So I'm pretty sure that it goes back to when I was 2.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
When you were a child, were you a girly girl or a tomboy?
I was a mix.
Okay.
I was vastly tomboy, and yet I loved the frills and the high heels and all this. I mean, I couldn't wait to put on high heels and stuff like that. So I really was a mix.
Yeah.
What a perfect balance.
How far do you live from your childhood hometown? About.
Is that where I was born or where I grew up mostly?
So that's your decision. What do you consider your childhood hometown, maybe? Start with that.
I mean, I guess Minnesota would be more hometown because I do remember it more,
Right.
I don't know, a couple thousand miles. I don't know how far it is.
Yeah.
This is math again.
I know, right?
How long does it take to drive there?
A couple days? Lois would know better than
20
I would.
hours?
Yeah. It's a little far.
24 hours? Something, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Were there any other languages spoken in your childhood home?
No, not really, no. I mean, there were words, but not full languages.
Right. How old were you when you learned how to ride a bike?
I have no idea. I'm sure I tried to get on it as young as I could. We had to share our bikes, so, it probably took a while.
Yeah, right? You had to wait your turn?
I think we only had 2.
Yeah.
And how many kids?
8 kids.
Yeah. Did you have to do chores when you were a kid?
Yes. Yes.
Did you get an allowance?
No.
What was your most memorable family vacation?
Probably coming out to Washington. There were a couple of them, but maybe the one when I was 8.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's probably the one I remember the best, or, I think I do remember that one the best. Yeah. But yeah, that was into Washington and then up into Canada.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like a road trip?
Yeah.
Family road trip. That's cool. Those are the best.
It's the only way we went.
Yeah.
Fighting all the way.
Right. Right.
Threatened with the belt. Threatened or feeling it.
Don't make me have to pull over this car.
Exactly. And he did it at least once.
Oh boy. Okay. Describe your childhood bedroom and what was the view out of your window?
Bunk beds, a lot of mess, and view out the window was a bit of lawn and the windbreak.
Nice. Who was your childhood best friend?
Early on, it was Danny.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a beloved childhood pet?
They were all my pets.
Did you grow up on a farm?
Yes.
Oh.
Daisy the cow was the first one that I was extremely attached to.
Yeah.
And what happened to Daisy?
Oh, well, she was a milk cow and she reached a point where she really couldn't be a milk cow anymore. So she ended up on the dinner table and that just broke my little 4-year-old heart or whatever age I was.
I'm shocked you became a carnivore after that.
Yeah. Well, I had a lot of trouble eating, meat from an animal that I had named or, had a name like that. So my dad learned to name the animals that were bound for the table, like hamburger or steak or something like that, so that I wouldn't get attached.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This is not going to be a
And then you name the turkeys like Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Yeah. It's weird. I just listened to you guys' podcast on the dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of Daisy because I literally grieved for that cow for years.
Oh.
I really did. I was heartbroken.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I had a dream about Daisy and she was out in this field behind the barn and there were all these daisies and other flowers there. And she's like just, coming through the field toward me. And I don't know, that dream just absolutely put it all to rest for me. I mean, not that I was still a little sad over Daisy, but it really did put it to rest.
Yeah, it was helpful.
Yeah, very, very.
That's awesome.
It felt like one of those that like I could not discount it as being comfort for my heart,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Cool. What was your favorite childhood game?
Oh boy. I really don't know. I mean, I loved playing games, except I knew the ones I didn't like because I just got slaughtered.
Which one? What was your worst game then?
Worst game was chess.
Chess. Yeah.
I totally feel your pain.
And Scrabble and Boggle came close behind.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of your other siblings liked those ones, so.
Exactly. My older siblings.
Yeah.
Who I could never possibly catch up with.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was always the dummy in the group.
Yeah, right. You're not a dummy.
But really not. Probably just the younger one. Like.
I know. I realize
well, in
that
different
now.
interests.
Yeah.
It's just, man, I got slaughtered and just hassled to death about the fact that I wasn't smart enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing like siblings to toughen a kid up.
Oh man. I think that was the effort a lot of times, but I'm not sure it actually toughened me up. I think it just made me mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And self-conscious,
Yes.
Yeah. All the stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you have a childhood hobby?
Drawing and all the animals.
Yeah.
You still draw?
Occasionally, yeah. I love art. I don't do nearly as much of it as I want to, but I do still do different sorts of art and stuff, yeah.
Very cool. Did you collect anything?
I did. There were things that I really wanted to collect that I couldn't, but I kind of collected anything that sort of caught my interest, just little odds and ends and stuff. I don't know that I specifically honed in on one thing. I'm not sure that I had the opportunity,
Right. What was your favorite playground equipment or recess game?
The monkey bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ever try to go on those as an adult? Feels like your arms are being ripped out of the socket. It's not the same memory as being a kid.
Yeah, right. The ones that I liked were just maybe they were pull-up bars.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, there was a low one and a middle one and a higher one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I just liked flipping around on those bars. I love
Yeah.
the swings too, but yeah, I like just flipping around on them like I did on the bars in the barn.
Mhm.
Very cool. Were you in any sports as a child?
No, just whatever stuff we played at home. No, we didn't. Yeah.
No
I
organized
don't think
sports.
we were allowed. Right. Yeah.
You weren't allowed.
Nah, Dad didn't want us in sports, or I don't think either one really wanted us in sports.
Yeah.
Right. Were you forced to learn a musical instrument?
Oh man, Mom tried. Really tried to get me to learn the organ. Not forced, no, but I mean, she tried to bribe us. She did bribe us, but I just never could sit still long enough. So
Right.
now I'm thinking I'd really love to learn now.
Yeah. You still could. Never too old.
I know.
I have a friend that's turning 70 this year, and she last year for Christmas asked her kids to buy her a keyboard, and she started learning, and she played us a few songs the last time we were there, a few hymns, and she's really picking it up.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
She said better late than never.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to be getting like a musical director, helper, player, whatever at church, and they've talked about him teaching the kids, and I thought, I wonder if he would teach an adult.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Did your family attend church?
Yes.
And did you go to Sunday school?
Yes. I wanted to go to Sunday school before I was old enough to go to Sunday school, and Dad finally had to say, no, you can't because you won't stay quiet.
Right. Right. You're a disruption to Sunday school.
Yes.
Okay. Very last question. What was your favorite Bible story as a child?
Oh man, I had a few favorites.
We'll take more than one. That's fine.
Maybe Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Probably that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I asked for that over and over in Sunday school.
Yeah.
What'd you like about it? Because actually, we were just talking about this the other day.
Man, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, just the miraculous protection that they had, just like no fear of going into that fire because, I mean, I'm sure they had fear, but they were able to just go into the fire and come out unharmed because of God's protection, Daniel in the lion's den was another one,
Yes.
The Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the thing I really love about that one is where they say, like, God can save us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
But even if.
Yeah.
But even if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, basically knowing, like, we're not God, and we're not going to tell God what to do, and, like, we don't know what God's going to do because we're not God, but we serve a God who can. But even if he chooses not to, we still will trust him. And that always just shocked me. And then at the end where it says they came out and they didn't even smell like smoke.
Exactly. I know. Nothing burns, nothing, everything's just like nothing there.
They're fine. And who was that fourth guy in the fire? All right.
Thank you so much for answering our questions, Della.
Oh, absolutely.
Ashley, these questions are about your childhood. So not your kid's childhood, not anyone, just about your childhood. So you're going to have to think back.
Oh boy.
We're so glad you're going to do these 20 questions with us. This is so awesome.
Thank you.
All right. This is 20 childhood questions with Ashley. You ready, Ashley?
Yeah.
Number 1. From what age is your earliest memory?
Ooh.
Or what is your earliest memory if you can dredge it up?
Probably swimming at the pond.
That's great.
How old do you think you were?
4 maybe?
Yeah. Crazy, right? All right. When you were a child, were you a girly girl or were you a tomboy? Or were you the perfect balance?
I think I was a little bit of both because, like, I loved playing outside, like running out in the woods. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was both.
Yeah,
a little bit
you
of both.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can definitely be that. All right. How far do you live from your childhood hometown?
I'm still in my childhood hometown.
Okay, so right there. Were there any other languages spoken in your childhood home?
No.
All right. How old were you, if you can remember, when you learned how to ride a bike?
5?
Do you remember learning? Do you remember who taught you?
Mhm.
I don't.
You probably taught yourself. You're from a big family. All right. Did you have to do chores when you were a kid?
Yes.
Did you get an allowance?
No.
What was your most memorable family vacation? Or the one you remember the most, or your favorite, whatever one comes to your mind.
Well, we kind of did a couple of things. We would do camping every summer, and there were a lot of summers we went to Michigan.
Upper Michigan or Lower Michigan? Yeah. Upper Michigan.
To
Okay.
Ironwood.
Okay. One of your parents from there?
Yeah, my dad is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Those were always fun.
I knew that. Yeah. That's my kids' childhood memories too. I brought them there every summer.
Yeah.
That's what you do when you're from there, right?
Yeah.
All right. Describe to me your childhood bedroom.
I had a bright green comforter with flowers on it. It had like green, like bright green, and it had some yellow.
Mm-hmm.
What was the view out of your window?
So I was on the second story. So there was like, my window was the driveway, and there was a roof right there, and it kind of overlooked the garage, the driveway.
Anything else about that room you remember that you want to share? Was it your own room?
No.
Who else? How many stayed in that room with you?
Mm-hmm.
One of my sisters did.
Just one. Who was your childhood best friend?
My childhood best friend. Ooh.
Like elementary.
Well, from kindergarten, I mean, up until now, like, Jenna was always one of my good friends. But then I always hung out a lot with my cousins because they lived right next door. And so I had some cousins that lived next door and the house next to them. So we were always together.
Yeah. Cousins are the best friends.
Yeah. So I'd say my cousins and yeah.
And Jenna.
And Jenna.
Yes.
Did you have a beloved childhood pet?
Oh, yes, we had a dog.
Named what?
Arnie.
Arnie? What kind of dog was it? Was it a mutt?
Yeah.
Just who knows what Arnie was. What was your favorite childhood game?
Kick the can.
Yeah. Mine too. Did you have a childhood hobby?
I mean, just outdoor stuff. You know, we always swimming, biking.
Yeah. Did you collect anything?
Barbies.
Really? You were a girly girl.
I had a lot of Barbies.
Okay, it's fine.
Yep.
Do you have any of them still?
No.
Got rid of all of them, hey?
Yeah.
They'd probably be worth a bunch of money now. Just kidding. Should have kept that collection.
Right.
Let's see. What was your favorite playground equipment or recess game?
Ooh. I always liked the tire swing.
Mm-hmm. Wait a second. Playground? I think school. Did you have a tire swing at your school?
We
did.
Are you serious? You both did. I feel so ripped off.
We did.
Oh my word.
It was a tall one. It was a high tree too. It was a long rope.
You don't see that anymore.
Nope.
Okay, I'll allow it then. Were you in any sports as a child?
I tried play field hockey in high school, but other than that, no.
Yeah. What do you mean you tried?
Well, I wasn't very good at it.
So you quit?
So I think I did a season.
Yeah. You're like, not for me. Okay.
Not for me.
Were you forced to learn a musical instrument?
I did do piano lessons. I wouldn't say it was forced though.
You wanted to?
Or did you have the opportunity to do
Yeah.
to play a musical instrument?
Do you still play piano?
No.
No. Just a childhood thing. All right. Did your family attend church?
Yeah.
Did you go to Sunday school?
Yes.
Did you have a favorite Bible story as a child?
Ooh. Yeah, I think the story of Joseph was always my favorite.
Was it because of the coat? Just kidding. Was Joseph the one with the
many
coat?
colors? Yes. The coat of many colors. That was
Awesome. Well, that's a little glimpse into Ashley's childhood. Thanks for sharing that. And I'm so shocked they used to have tire swings on the school playground. So you'll learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
Lois, I have 20 childhood questions for you.
I am ready. I'm digging through frantically my childhood file cabinet in my brain.
Okay.
It's a little dusty, just saying.
Dust it off. Get ready. Shake it off. All right. Number 1, from what age is your earliest memory?
I think it's from like 3-ish. We built a house. We moved to the UP. I was born downstate, which, okay. I was born downstate, moved to the UP when I was 3. I'm sorry, moved to the UP when I was 2. We lived in a house in, Chassel, and we bought property right next door and built a house on it. And so I remember parts of that house building process. One of the things that I remember is they dug the basement, the hole for the basement. It had like a, drive-in basement garage sort of thing in the basement part. Mm-hmm. The garage was under the house in the basement. And they had dug the hole for the foundation for the basement. And they came back the next day and there was water in the hole. And they had to move the house a certain number of feet so they started, my dad, his nature was like, where's this water coming from? So he starts chasing this water. It's trickling out of the side of the hole there. And they start chasing this water and he found a stone with a crack in it. And there was water just coming up out of this crack. And he's like, well, there's my well. So he moved his house a little away and right outside our back door, 12 feet from the house or whatever it was like right there. It was probably 12 feet from the basement. He took these concrete well casing things and we had a well right there with great water. That's my earliest memory is that house build and the kind of the drama of
the water,
this hole having water in it when we came back the next day and what they had to do to fix it. Like, obviously you're not going to build a house where there's water in your basement. That's not a good plan.
No, that'd be a bad plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you were a child, were you a girly girl or a tomboy?
I wasn't super drastically either. I mean, I liked playing with dolls and, playing not really tea party so much, but like kitchen or house or whatever. But I also loved like the outdoor games and the more outside and boyish. I wasn't super like all the fancy girl ribbons and bows and that kind of stuff. Like,
You weren't extreme.
I wasn't extreme either way.
Yeah. You're so balanced. You're so fair and balanced.
Right.
Okay. How far do you live from your childhood hometown?
2,000 miles, 2,500. I don't even know. I don't even know the mileage.
Yeah, I don't know mine either.
Chassel to state of Washington.
You'd think I would have known mine because I had just driven it.
I want to say it's like 2,000.
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty close. Were there any other languages spoken in your childhood home?
There were. Finnish was a language that was spoken. My parents both spoke Finnish, my grandparents. I actually knew Finnish before I knew English.
Oh.
Until I was about 2 years old. I should say, when I was about 2 years old, probably 2 to 3, you know, those first words,
Yeah.
first sentences, first whatever conversations were in Finnish. My dad was always like, yep, you spoke Finn before you spoke English.
And do you speak Finn now?
Oh, no. I understand more than I can speak.
Okay.
But even the understanding, it's like a word here, a word there, especially like in a sermon where they're speaking. So we had a lot of Finnish sermons that were then translated to English in church when I was growing up. And so you would hear the Finnish and then you would hear the English and you would hear the Finnish and you would hear the English. And so you started to kind of collect some of those words, like the more common words that are spoken.
Like Biska.
Well, no, not even that. I'm saying in church, like Jumalan is God, you know, like whatever, those kind of.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back, like.
Yeah, Biska is definitely a.
You to run Finnish. For that. Run away from that one.
Yep.
Okay, cool. How old were you when you learned how to ride a bike?
Oh, learned how is, I don't remember. I remember learning, but I don't remember the age. I remember my brothers. I had 2 older brothers. They were like 10 and 11 years-ish older than me, somewhere in that ballpark. And I remember them running along, holding the back, holding the seat, keeping me a little bit up and balanced and like going along.
Yeah.
So I remember that, and I don't remember the age. I remember wanting a bike so badly. And I didn't have one. I wanted a bike and I wanted a bike and I wanted a bike. We lived on a farm and my dad put up a silo, a big, tall silo storage for animal feed. And he told me, if you climb that silo, I'll buy you a bike.
Really?
And I climbed that silo, knees trembling all the way, because it was like, I don't know, 80 feet high or 100 feet high or something. I don't remember.
Golly.
There was a cage. I wasn't in any danger. He was behind me on the ladder. I wasn't like
it
wasn't like a creaky ladder. It wasn't like a creaky ladder 100 feet tall in the air.
That's what I'm picturing.
No, it's a stable ladder on the side of the silo, welded or whatever to the silo, bolted. Okay. And then there's a cage around it.
Okay.
And either he or one of my brothers was below me. So if I tripped on the rungs, it was just, it was very safe.
I'm glad.
My brothers, on the other hand, so there's the ladder inside the cage.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cage is like large enough for an adult to go up inside of it. So it's pretty, it's a good size round.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, and it has all the bars. It has almost what you could mistake for rungs. Oops, accidentally. So my brothers would race up. Somebody was inside the cage climbing the ladder, double, 2, 3, as many rungs as they could do at a time. And they'd have 2 other guys going up the outside of the cage. So there would be 3 of them racing for the top as fast as they could go. So yeah, that was
Everyone
not me.
survived.
That was not me. Everyone survived. To my knowledge, there were never any falls or broken bones or anything. Yeah.
Jordan Peterson says, let your kids do dangerous things carefully.
Yes,
Right.
there you go. I like that. I like Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. All right. Did you have to do chores when you were a kid?
Yes. We did, house cleaning and dusting and vacuuming and that kind of stuff in the house. I don't remember really doing outdoor chores. And I was 12 when we sold that farm. And I remember doing chores on the farm, like the farm chores, but I don't remember them like being assigned, like you have to feed the chickens every day or you have to collect the eggs every day. I remember just doing like
whatever was asked of you, kind of.
Yeah. Or like going with my mom and collecting eggs or whatever, like, or whoever,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Did you get an allowance?
No, I did not.
What was your most memorable family vacation?
We did not really travel a lot. I remember doing so my family dynamic was super weird, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Family about from the age of 12 was, even before that, was broken. So we didn't do family vacations. My parents their marriage was not in a good place. And I remember going to like church services and things, conventions and whatever, but I don't really remember family vacations.
Mm.
I'm like, did we not take them or do I just not remember them? I don't think we took them.
Yeah. You might not have. Not everybody does.
Yeah. Between financial, difficulties and marriage not being really whole, the family was not whole.
Mm-hmm.
There was not a lot of, yeah.
All right. Can you describe your childhood bedroom and what was the view out of your window?
Yes. My childhood bedroom, this house that we built was a ranch. And so it had, kitchen, living room, dining room on one end, and then the long hallway down to the other end of the house. And off of that hallway were 3 bedroom doors on one side. And mine was the middle bedroom. My brothers were on one end and my older sister was 12 years older than me. And she was on the other end. And so I had the middle bedroom and my view out my window, depending on whether it was summer or winter, right? My view out my window was toward the road, where our house was quite a distance off the road. And it was a cornfield or a wheat field or whatever happened to be growing. Or in the winter, it was a snowbank, a really tall snowbank that didn't go away until like June, July. There was still a little tiny pile there. They'd scoop the snow. So we had a fairly large parking pad and they'd scoop the snow with bobcat tractor with a bucket, something.
Yeah.
And it would go like as high as they could lift it and it would just roll down because they couldn't get like over the bank anymore.
Yeah. People do not understand the whole snow thing up there. Like
exactly.
When we would start plowing early in the year, we'd plow all the way to the backyard. And if you didn't know, you'd be like, why are you pushing your snow so far back? It's like, because we will run out of room.
Yes, we will have no place to park in April if we don't do this now. This is planning ahead. Remember that whole planning ahead thing?
Yeah, the snowbanks in the parking lots where they plow them, the parking lot, and then they do a couple of banks like in the middle of the parking lot or whatever. They go all the way up to the top of the light poles.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand how crazy it is.
And they bring in dump trucks and bucket loader things and like literally scoop the snow into the dump truck and haul it out of there somewhere.
For town, yeah. They have to for town.
They have to because there's just no place to put it.
They have a pretty good system.
Mm-hmm.
But it's totally a different world. All right. Who was your childhood best friend?
So I had in kindergarten, first, second grade, my cousin Gordy was my best friend.
Mm.
My kindergarten report card, just saying, got a little note on it that says, too interested in Gordon's work or something to that effect. Like, I was always talking to Gordy, always.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then in third grade, Scylla moved to Michigan. And she was my friend. She was my person.
Mm.
Which was kind of interesting because she was Gordy's cousin. So we didn't spend a lot of time, the three of us together. I mean, we did. We did spend a lot of time, the three of us together, because we all visited back and forth at each other's homes on, they'd do, Sunday afternoon gathering, and we'd sing and have a little Bible study or whatever. So we spent a lot of time together. But yeah, Scylla was my friend. From third grade on, that was it.
Actually, I know I want to stick a correction in my
You're allowed. You allowed me to do that another time, so I will allow you to do it this time. I'll be gracious.
So my childhood best friend was my cousin Patrice.
Mm-hmm.
We swam together and lived together and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Jill was a childhood friend of mine, like when I think of a school friend.
School friend, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was in my grade and we chummed around and whatever, but,
those cousin friendships are the best, hey?
yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
All right. Did you have a beloved childhood pet?
We had a dog named Timber, and that was the best, an amazing dog. And what did it start doing? It started roaming. I think it was roaming. I probably blocked the actual, what was it that the stupid dog did? Chase chickens or roaming or something that farm dogs do,
Mm-hmm.
And I think a neighbor called and said, your dog's up here again. And it was my brother's dog. And he went and picked up that dog and he took it in the woods and he shot it. And I was like, that was I remember bawling. I remember bawling. I was probably 5, 6, something. I don't remember. 6, 7, something that age. Oh, it was a little traumatic.
Mm-hmm. That's tough.
Yeah.
What was your favorite childhood game?
So, I may have mentioned already. I did mention already. My brothers were 10 years older than me and my sister was older than them. So, I have a lot of characteristics of an oldest child and a youngest child and an only child.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom would play games with me. She would play marbles with me. She would play jump rope with me. She would play jacks with me. All of these super, Chinese checkers with me.
Mm-hmm.
All of these games that were, cause I couldn't play them by myself. Right?
Yeah.
I was really good at entertaining myself. I remember playing Office. I don't know why, the glamour of being a receptionist in an office was so attractive, but it was. I knew some people one of my cousins was about 10 years older than me as well. And she worked in my uncle's construction company office. So she was answering phones and she was taking messages and she was doing invoicing and she was doing office stuff. And she was just a peach of a girl at that time. She was young, but it just fascinated me. So I played Office. I made invoices. I answered the phone and took pretend messages. And
that was your all-time favorite game?
That was my all-time favorite childhood game. And you know what? She is such a this cousin is so sweet. I had gone up there. My dad had a meeting up there at their office. And my dad goes off to this meeting with her dad. And I'm sitting in her office and she's got work to do, right? And phones to answer and all the things. And she's like, here. And she handed me some pads of paper and pencils and whatever. She's like, why don't you take some messages for me? And why don't you do some whatever. And so, I was in my glory. I was officing with my cousin who was like the office girl, right? And I'm doing this stuff. And a few weeks later, this box comes for me in the mail. She had ordered me 10 pads of stationery. They're just plain, like those 5x8 pads or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, from the desk of Lois Mimala. And they had a little kitten on them with a little rose in its mouth. I was in heaven. That paper was so priceless.
I love that you still remember the details.
It was
of that.
so fabulous. And you know what? She is so dear to me, even more because of that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I love it.
It's the little things.
Mm-hmm.
Did you collect anything?
Rocks at different times, you know, nothing real, you know, leaves, cool rocks, cool sticks, kind of. I didn't have no baseball cards, nothing like that.
Yeah. What was your favorite playground or recess thing to do?
I loved jump rope. Just remember that feeling of spring. Spring was here when the jump ropes came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still so muddy. I think about those teachers and the mud that they had to deal with in their classrooms. Cause I mean, you're supposed to wipe your feet, right? When you go in.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh my word, who wiped their feet? It was like swipe, swipe, go. Swipe, swipe, go. And we were jumping rope. There was mud puddles and slop everywhere. It's just crazy to me when I think about it now.
We had concrete to play on for that kind of stuff.
We didn't. We did it on gravel. Like, it was where the buses parked.
I was from the big city of Hancock.
I know.
You were from the
Chassel. Little rural, tiny school, no money.
They couldn't afford concrete.
We sledded in the winter. We had sledding hills, and we had lots of like Red Rover, and you know, those kind of games.
But your favorite was jump rope.
My favorite was jump rope.
Did you do any sports as a child?
I did not. Nothing.
How about
Sports are a sin, don't you know?
No, I don't know. Don't you know?
Don't you know?
No one told me.
I know. They told me. I knew. I knew those things.
Were you forced to learn a musical instrument?
Oh, no. I wanted to.
You wanted to.
I wanted music so bad. I loved music. I loved to sing. I loved to play. I would plunk around on a piano or organ or whatever, any chance I got. And some older people, one lady that I babysat for, started giving me musical hints and helps and tips and taught me stuff. And it was so good. And then I would play and I would practice and practice and practice.
So you had a piano in the home?
No, we did not. I only played it when I went to other people's houses. I used to go to the church. I had a church key this was when I was a teenager. I had a church key. My mom probably had a church key. I probably borrowed hers. I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember the church key, going to the church and going in and playing the organ for hours just by myself because I loved it.
And you were pretty much an only child.
Yeah. And we lived in town at that time in my life. We lived in town, so we were only a few blocks from the church. Mm-hmm. So I just walked down, Mom, I'm going to play the organ. Go down to the church, play the organ.
Well, this next question seems redundant then.
Okay.
Did your family attend church?
We did. We were very faithful church attenders. It's kind of interesting though, because my dad was not so much. He did when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
But then he never lost his faith or anything like that. But he didn't attend. When our family broke, I'm telling you, everything breaks. Don't break your family, people. If you're listening, don't break your family. Like, it breaks. Those ripples and repercussions go everywhere. We didn't have family Christmases. We didn't have family Thanksgivings. We didn't have family Easter dinner around the table. We didn't go to church as a family. We didn't have birthdays. We didn't have family vacations. Those ripples ripple, man. And so I did go to church as a child. My dad, my parents together, but then my dad kind of stopped going for quite a few years. And then he started going again, maybe like, I don't know, 10, 15 years before he died. He started going again. Came to a place and he still went to the same church where my mom went. So they just kind of avoided each other. And I don't know, he must have came to a place where he was able to be in the same building with her, because for many years he couldn't. He wouldn't be in the same building. You know, in my wedding, he's standing next to one person, like he's next to me and my mom is next to Al, or whichever, vice versa. I don't remember which way it was. But, you know, they're not standing together.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. Just, nope, not happening. So, yeah.
Did you go to Sunday school?
Yes. Yes. Loved Sunday school.
So what was your favorite Bible story as a child?
Oh, it's so hard to pick a favorite. I think I had equal love for Daniel in the lion's den, because, I mean, how terrifying would that be, right? And yet, Daniel's like, no problem. God's got this, you know? Like, if I'm supposed to be eaten by a lion, I guess I'll be eaten by a lion. If not, it ain't happening. And then Esther. I mean, Queen Esther coming as this little Hebrew girl who becomes the Queen of Persia. I mean, what kind of fairy tale is that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a fairy tale. It's true. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the coolest thing about the Bible, I remember reading with my parents. And I think the coolest thing, they exposed me to a lot of God's word. That was something that, and I have a love for it. I still didn't have a thirst for it until I was probably, I don't know, 25, 30, somewhere in that, probably 25-ish range. But I did have a love for it then. I got a thirst for it that was just unquenchable. And it's the story that never grows old.
That's right. There's so many stories. Like, people think that Bible's boring. They haven't read it.
I know.
Like, look up JL.
I know. Yeah, dude.
Look up Deborah. Like, look up.
Mm-hmm.
You
Totally.
think there aren't women in there? There's women in there too.
Yep. Naomi, Ruth. Ugh. I mean, those are just touching on some of the women. You know, Mary. I mean, Mary's life fascinates me. Think about Mary. What in the world? I wonder, like, what kind of repercussions did she have in her life for having this child out of wedlock? And, you know, like, yeah, we haven't done anything, honestly. Oh, yeah, right. You know?
No, there's so much stuff. What about Abraham and Sarah? And he tell them that you're my sister.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Cause you're so beautiful. They'll, you know.
Yep.
Take you or whatever. It's just like, so much drama.
I know. There
Scandal.
It is a drama story. But you know what? Thank God for the drama, because if they were all lily white, perfect, whitewashed people, we'd be feeling really bad about ourselves, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, we can see that people are people, and they have been ever since the fall.
And God is God. Yep.
And God is God, and He is the Redeemer. He is the Sanctifier. He makes us new creatures, new creations, new beings.
One of my favorite songs now that I've been listening to is Goodbye Old Me. Have you ever heard it?
No, I haven't heard that one.
It's pretty peppy.
Is it contemporary Christian?
It's contemporary. Yeah. It's like on K-Love. Goodbye Old Me.
Yeah. You know what? I don't listen to contemporary Christian music, so.
You just won't.
I just don't. I don't.
It's not your thing.
It's not my thing. You know what? I would way rather listen to hymns.
Yeah.
That's just, my love is the words and the poetry and the imagery and the things that come through in a hymn that just don't in a praise song.
Sometimes you just want a poppy little song. Like, you're just like, it's sun shining and your arms out the window. Like, and you're just
give me rock and roll. I'm sorry. I would rather. I keep my compartments really, really separated. Like, this is Christian music.
Interesting.
And this is not Christian music. And if I'm cleaning house or something, I don't want like K-Love. I want like, I don't know, Rocky Burnett or something.
Whatever works for you. We just won't clean together. It's fine. You clean your house, I'll clean mine.
Earbuds. We'll be earbuds.
Oh, true. Earbuds.
I'll be on my Spotify. We'll just have to catch each other's attention if we're needing each other, because we can't.
Right. Hear. Yeah, we could make it work. we could. Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right.
All right. Thanks for answering 20 questions of your childhood.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, it was great chatting.
Bye.